All right. What's up? This is Sunny. Remember, I don't do this for no one else but myself. Um, uh, Trying to get my thoughts together. Uh, all right. I'm gonna go over these three trades, all in 3 different days: Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Um, I'm not gonna go over the SEC filings or anything because it's all the same. These stocks had a low float, under 5 mil, or probably like 5 point something mil or 6 or 7 mil, but they were all relatively low. But when I did my research to see the SEC filings and everything, all these three stocks that I traded had an offering. Um, and I knew not to trade them, but I trade them anyway simply because I was thinking about the money. I wanted an opportunity. I wanted to make some money. I wanted to trade, um, somewhat of gambling, and I went into the stock anyway, uh, with the expectation of making some money, and I got my ass handed to me in one or two of these trades, and it was just a dumb. The three of these trades, really, it was just a dumb decision, and not only that, um, I did it 3 days in a row and took a big loss on all three of them. Um, One stock I was up substantially, up substantially, and I just refused to take gains. And going into the open, I knew to sell in the open on all three stocks, except for this one right here. But on the last two, I knew to sell in the open, um, and I refused to, hoping that it would continue going up, knowing the stock had an ATM. So um, I'm gonna go over them. They're all slightly different, but they're all the same. And my lack of discipline and my greed took over. Um, and I need to go back and study Randall Howell to know what to do when my greed and lack of discipline is taking over. Because it's really messing me up these past three trades. Trading is it's a lot of work first, but not only that, it's a constant battle within yourself. It's never ending battle. They used to say that, and I didn't believe it, but bro, this is true. You're always going to be battling with yourself, and if you don't keep yourself tamed, you are going to mess up. But I'll go over these trades. So with this stock, I was looking at it um, before the market opened. I had an emergency. I was out of town, but while I was out of town, I had an emergency, and I was watching the markets, and I had to step away from my computer to help someone out. Got to the markets about 15 to 20 minutes late, and I was just watching stocks to see uh, what they're gonna do. And I like the 945 dip and rip play. Um, and when I got to my computer, this was like the one that I thought was the best. 945, but I knew they had an offering. Um, um, this one wasn't as bad. Like I wasn't as undisciplined in this trade. Um, but I should have. I knew to get out, and I didn't get out. And this stock um, was dumping. So what? Um, 9:45 already had hit. So I gave it some more time. Um, and 10 o'clock hit. Okay, I'm like, most likely this is not gonna work out. Then it perked up right here. So I assumed, okay, uh, and let me go to the 1 minute chart instead. And I'm like, okay, uh, um, so 10 o'clock hit, like, okay, this is not gonna work. The 9:15, like, okay, this is really not gonna work. And then I seen it perk up, so I'm like, okay, this might be one of those late day dipping rips. So it spiked here, or I don't say spiked, it perked here, and then it started pulling back. And I'm like, okay, this might work. And I'm like, maybe I should get in here. Then it perked up again, and I chased it. I wasn't trying to get in the 17s and 19, 319, 37, 317, 319. I wanted to get in around 3.6 to 3.8 in that range. Chased it, thinking it was gonna break this high point right here of on this candlestick of 322. It didn't, and then each time it was trying to go up uh, on the level twos. If you saw the level twos, which I highly doubt anyone did, but um, each time it was trying to go up, it was met with sellers on every single level. And I'm not honestly, I'm not gonna lie with myself. I'm not accustomed to watching level twos because listed stocks, you don't really watch level twos. Um, there's not much you can do with level twos, but uh, yeah, just wasn't much I could do with it. Um, excuse me. Oof, need to stretch. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm tired, but and I knew to sell here. I was down like 100 or less than 100, or maybe 200, and I was down, and I was like, "Sonny, just get out for a lesser loss. You know this is not going to go up as much as you want to give this time. Get out." And I'm like, "No, I want to give it more time." And then I think it hit uh 310, and I was like, "Bro, get out at 310. It's not working out." Didn't want to get out. It panicked. Ended up getting out at 3.2, 3.02 for a $400 loss, an unnecessary $400 loss. Now I understand $400 loss wasn't much, but um, it was a lot to me because it was like this wasn't one of those trades that needed a $400 risk. My risk was originally 10 cent, 310, and um, I knew I wanted to really risk off of low a day, but I'm like, this is a this is a speculative trade. This is not one of those trades that I can trust or feel comfortable with. So be careful on this. Be quick to get out. So I'm like, okay, true risk is at lower day, which is $3. But I'm like, okay, I just want to risk 310, and I didn't even follow that, and I ended up losing. I ended up going all the way to my risk of three, and I knew this was going to fail because it was offerings and all of that, and that's exactly what happened. It failed, and it continued to fail. And imagine if I was being one of those guys who hold and hope, which I still do, because on this next trade you're gonna see, um, it kept fading. Now, um, uh, I did this on my third trade where I knew to get out, didn't get out, and put myself in a bad situation. So this next trade, um, right here, um, this was a hold and hope, but not really. It was a hold and hope, but not really. This stock, extremely low flow, was went up, and I'll show you the yearly chart. Let me show the yearly chart of Finch first. This was the yearly chart of Finch, so I knew not to hold on for long, and I still did anyway. This stock only had one spike right here, and that's it. So why am I getting into a stock like this that had only one spike ever? And it was not even a big spike, you know. Well, it was, but still not my type of trade. It probably gapped up all morning and look, opened up here near high and just panicked all day. So that's not even a real spike. Gapped up all day and then fell the rest of the day. Then this stock was an IPO. Didn't even realize it. Now that I'm seeing it, I realized that the day I was trading it, but that was after I got into the trade, realized it was an IPO. Um, and then um, afterwards, um, where's my trade on this? All right, so um, it had spiked up to like what did it close to? It closed at um, $6.45 the day before, and spiked up to um, 19 cent, $19. So you can only imagine what I'm thinking in my head. Like this went up uh, over 300% or 200% from 6, 12, 18. Yeah, over 200%. So you already know in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this shit just um, went from 6 to 19. This is gonna and this is must be a low flow. And I did my research. It's a low flow, and I'm eager to get in. And I had looked up. Um, it it just spiked up a substantial amount, but I saw this big pullback. So it went from 19 all the way down to 9. So that's a big drop to me. That's damn near 50-cent drop. Bounced back up and dropped again. So it's like when you're watching these pre-market stuff, you're seeing these big percent gainers. For me, I just get drawled in without really thinking all the way at times, and I don't really look at the entire move. So when you see this, I saw it, but I didn't pay no mind to it. But when you see this, this is a big dilution. Like the fact that it went from 6 to yeah, from well not here, but from the day before it was at 6. But the fact that it went from 6 to 19, it's just a big move, and it draws your attention. But you forget to look that it dropped another 50%, bounced and dropped again. So you can see dilution here, dilution all here, manipulation going up. So it's like there's warning signs, but sometimes you just don't realize it because you're so eager to trade it. So I was watching this stock, and I'm like, okay, it had a decent pullback from the 1250s down to 1025 roughly. So I got in. I didn't even want to get in at 1089. I wanted to get in like 1050, but it just kept pushing. So I got in um, with 800 shares at 1089, and the stock just started spiking and just kept going up. And I was sitting next to a friend of mine who I was showing the stock market to, and I was like, look, I was explaining to him how you gotta use your mind to make money, not your body, because literally, I said, look, I just got into the stock, right? It's 9:27 a.m. and I said, I'm gonna get out at 9:30, and I said in 3 minutes I was already up $1,000. I said, look, I'm up $1,000 right now, and I said already I just got in a few minutes ago. And he's like, damn, it works like that. I'm like, yeah, sometimes it works like that, but I was just trying to get him to understand that um, it's better to use your mind than your body, because he does some kind of labor, and it's like you don't want to stay in that situation. So I said, I was trying to show off to low key, and I held it to the market open, and I was supposed to, my plan was to sell in market open, and instead I was trying to see if it would spike um, right at the open, break this high point, and I can sell for a $2,000, $3,000 gain. Um, but I already had hit my target goal. My target goal in this stock was 5 to 10%, which would have been $1.60 in this trade. Um, a dollar, not even $1.60, $1.56 in this trade. Um, no, I'm sorry. Uh, a dollar and 6 cents was my target goal. $1.06. $1.06 would have been 10%. It went up to 12.30 38. So let's do the math here. 12.38 minus 10.89. So I already surpassed my 10% goal and got more and still didn't get out. And greed took over. I broke my plan, broke my rules, and when the market opened, I was like, I'm up $1,100 now. I could have gotten out, chose not to, and started panicking. I knew the stock had an ATM. It had offerings and ATMs, and it did not. I did not follow my rules, which was stupid. And it just started panicking. And when it panicked, like I could have got out for a $800 gain, didn't take it. 500, didn't take it. Then it went down to 100 or 200, something like that. Still didn't take it. And I was like telling him, I'm like, look, I'm losing money, but it's gonna bounce. I know it will. And instead of being disciplined and being like, fuck it, let me just take it, I'm still trying to show off. And next thing you know, it halted. And by the time it opened up again, it panicked down. And I thought it was gonna hold and push up, but whenever it starts dropping and it holds down, then and it's halting down, you know what happens from there. It keeps halting down. But I thought it was gonna hold, and in my imagination, in my hopes, I thought it was gonna keep pushing up. But I was undisciplined, unfocused, and um, it just um, panicked down some more, halted, panicked down some more, halted, and then right here I was just like didn't know what to do, so I added. Now, who in their right mind would add at this point? I mean, I had enough time to think this through, figure this out, and I'm like, I don't know where this stock is gonna go. It could keep dropping all day and back to where it started from, and adding would have been a stupid decision. But I thought about the big picture. I had to think about the big picture to survive this trade that I put myself into. And I was like, okay, it's an IPO. Um, they're clearly diluting because it's an IPO. It's an initial public offering. IPO, the last word in IPO is offering, so they're dumping shares. Um, so I had to think this through. I'm like, okay, they just went up over 200%. They're pulling back. down to where they opened for the day, or what they opened for pre-market back in the eights. What do you think this can do? You know this is a low float, guaranteed. It's guaranteed a low float just by the way it's moving. And I had to think, like, what would be the best decision? I'm down roughly $3,000 or $2,000, and 2,500. From 2,500 to $3,000, I was just thinking to myself, okay, what are you gonna do? What can you do? And I made many dumb decisions in this trade. I added, and then my average was uh, um, it was, what was it, 1065, I think. And let me draw a line at 1065. This was my average right here. And many times, this stock gave me an opportunity to get out for a $700 gain. But I refused to take it because I was up 1,000 and I wanted that $1,000 and more, because I felt like, I guess I felt like the stock owed me. And because I was down, I felt like it owed me my $1,000 back plus more. And this is where you can get into a really stubborn trade and put yourself in bad situations. So the stock, this white line represents where I was at, and the stock went up, gave me a $700 gain. Could have taken it, refused. Many times it gave me a chance to get out with a gain, and I refused. And you can only imagine how much I'm beating myself up inside. Uh, and at one point, I just stopped watching the stock. I just took a nap, relaxed, had to clear my mind, set an alerts so I can keep track. And every once in a while, I'll come back and look at the stock. So it gave me multiple times to get out. These weren't much of a gain, but it doesn't matter. I was down um, damn near almost $3,000. Even break even or taking a smaller loss would have been perfect, but refused to take that neither. And right here, I was up 700, didn't take it. Right here, I was up 700, didn't take it. Right here, I was up close to 700, didn't take it. Still break even to a profit, small loss, all in this range. You know, from here to here. You know, I could have took a small loss on that white line. From that range, all here, I could have taken a small loss, break even, or a gain, and I refused to take it. And I won't say I'm glad that I took it. I didn't take it, but it ended up working out for me. But it only set me up for the next. It only made it worse for set me. It only set me up and made it worse for the next trade, uh, because I ended up holding till after hours. My anticipations was that it's an IPO. They're pushing it back up. Uh, they're trying to push it back up, and if this doesn't go my way tomorrow, it's gonna gap up. And this it ended up dumping back down to 3,000, to my $3,000 loss, to the $8 range. And I just thought to myself, okay, the whole day it wasn't fading, it wasn't going any lower. It didn't break lower day. It pushed back up, pulled back, didn't break this low here, didn't break this low here at $8.71. Um, and it went to $8.81. So it didn't break this low. Push back up. I told myself, I'm like, this stock is gonna spike. I could not only couldn't tell myself, but I could see that this stock was gonna spike um, uh, towards the end of the day, and I'm watching it as it's spiking, and it literally spiked towards the end of the day, like the last few minutes, and it spiked up to um like I don't know where, but uh I think this was it or this was it where it spiked up, and just before the last minute of the day, it got halted. Yeah, right here, it got halted at 1091, and I'm like, okay, I didn't realize this was a rule. If the stock halts during pre-market hours, during regular market hours, and um, the next minute goes into or within that time frame after hours come, then it would immediately get unhalted. I didn't know that. I thought, okay, if it's halting on the last minute of the day, then it will stay halted after hours. So that's what I was thinking. Like it's gonna stay halted. So while this was spiking, I was watching this from my phone, and for some reason my interactive broker app was acting up. I couldn't um I could um it spiked, and I just couldn't exit out of my phone. So I went and ran to grab my computer, and as I'm grabbing my computer, I look and it's back down. I'm like, how the fuck this shit just get unhalted? It hasn't even been 5 minutes. And I realized that within that time frame that once it hits after hours, it just gets unhalted, and that's what they did. They pushed it up after hours so that it wouldn't get halted, so that it wouldn't get halted, and if it did get halted, it would immediately get unhalted. So my intentions was to try to sell, um, you know, in the spike. Uh, and why wouldn't okay, the spike was near this spike, so why not just get out? Why didn't I just get out here instead of trying to get out right here, which is the same spot? It was stupid of me to wait this long if I was just gonna get out the same spot that I could have gotten out here. But I guess my patience just wore out in this trade. So then when I saw a spike, I said, okay, that's a great sign that this is gonna start pushing up um, uh, after hours maybe, or at least gap up tomorrow morning. So that was my thought in this. So I kept one eye open on it all throughout after hours, and it had faded. It had pulled back, and I didn't like that. But then I saw it just perking up little by little by little by little. I guess yeah, little by little, and it started perking, and it broke this point of 11:45. It broke this point where I was trying to get out here and here, and it just kept rising, and I saw that my profits were going from 1,000 to 1,500 to 2,000. I was trying to get out this whole fucking time, but I couldn't understand why I couldn't get out. I thought it was just illiquid. I would enter my order and it wouldn't execute, and I was like, maybe it's the where I'm routing to. It must be where I'm routing to. So I changed my router from Smart to an a direct router. So on my level twos, you'll have different names of who the stock or who your order will get routed to. And I tried to route it to Arca, but that didn't work. So I put it back on Smart. I'm like, what could be the issue on why this is not executing? And I was thinking about calling the broker, but I'm like, no, I know there's something that I can figure out. And I realized I had it on sell only on pre-market, sell only in pre-market, and I had to switch it to sell or trade after hours as well. And once I traded that, my order immediately got executed, and I had my bid way too low. Um, I had my sell order way too low, and I had it on the bid because I was doing whatever it took to get out. Even selling on the bid, uh, and my order got executed, and I made $2,500 for this trade. It was a very frustrating trade, and it wasn't disciplined at all. But it was great for the fact that I was out of town and I made the $3,000 that I had lost. I made all that back plus some, and I was just happy. But overall, I wasn't because this was a really bad trade. Um, it really was, and I'm really disappointed in myself. And then I don't know if this is gonna work, but going into this next stock, but I really want to improve on my discipline because it's like I can't keep doing this, man. I don't have an internet connection right now, but I just can't keep doing this. Um, Putting myself in these bad trades, and right now there's a stock that's up 40% with no news, an offering, and an ATM, and I'm tempted to get into it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You just had three trades of the same thing, and now you're just still trying to make this mistake. But today I'm refraining myself, and I was talking to Lisa Marie, and she was just like telling her how I keep trading undisciplined, and she's like, you're just gonna have to learn the hard way. If you don't want to follow the rules, you're just gonna have to learn the hard way. And today, I saw that stock, and I'm like, man, fuck that, I'm not getting in. As much as I'm tempted to get in, I'm not. Today looks like it's gonna be a day of lack of opportunities, and I understand that, and I'm just gonna stay away. Market's almost open in like an hour and 30, an hour and 10. I do not want to trade anything that's not a great opportunity. I really got to get this trade like or like I'm in a retirement mindset and trade like a coward because I've been gunslinging and gambling lately. So the internet's not working. I'm in this video right now. I still got one more um, uh, trade to talk about on how I just made the same mistake as the first trade. And then today, I'm most likely not going to trade because there's no opportunity. But this is a stock that I'm tempted to get in. Has no news, no news. Had an offering. It had an offering. Announced that they closed their offering. Now they're trying to pump up the stock, saying that we closed our offering. But they think they're slick. They have an offering, and I'll show you here. They have an offering that they closed, but their recent IPO would allow you to see. It's a recent IPO. Oh, there's no internet connection. It's a recent IPO, so um, they're trying to trick people to say, "Hey, we're not dumping shares anymore." But you have two offerings. You have the one you filed for, and you have the one that you filed for, and yeah, you have the one that you filed for, and you have the initial one, the initial offering. So it's like you're not going to trick me. And as much as I'm tempted to get into it, I'm like, nah, I'm not. But yeah, that's it. I'll make another video, and that'll be it.